Hey guys, it's Samir from MMOs.com doing a quick weekly news recap of all major MMO news and announcements beginning June 4th, 2018. This is episode number 150 of the recap, and the first of news this week comes from NeoWiz regarding Bless, and oh boy, there's a lot going on with this debacle that is Bless. So the game launched in early access last week, and boy was it a disaster. You had all the usual MMO launch issues, but the most annoying problem for me was that the game still wasn't optimized and ran really poorly. And not only that, but the Steam version of Bless was so unbelievably easy compared to the Russian version. But I think that the folks at NeoWiz might have actually seen my video complaining about that because they released a patch on June 1st that across the board nerfed every class's damage by 60 to 70%. I'll let that number sink in for a moment. You wake up one day and all of a sudden all your spells and abilities do 60 to 70% less damage. I've never seen an MMO do this kind of drastic move in one shot before. It's definitely pretty crazy. I'm actually kind of glad they did this though because it made a lot of sense. The game was way too easy before and you could stomp through everything super easily. It's still easier compared to the Russian version, but it definitely takes a bit longer now. The problem with this though is that anyone who played before the nerf essentially was playing it a 3 times XP game because they killed stuff so much quicker. So it's much harder to level now than it was back then. The game also has basically zero endgame content, so players are kind of left wondering what to do once they hit level 45. But anyway, we'll talk more about Bless in tomorrow's podcast, but the game's launch was most certainly a bit of a disaster. Next up, in some positive news, Path of Exile launched its latest expansion titled Incursion this last week. The Incursion update introduces 12 new gems to the game, 6 are ReEvolve skills, 5 are trap skills, and the last one is a new trap support gem. And as with any good Path of Exile update, too, there are new unique equipment, new areas, and some tweaks to existing skills. The update itself led to a huge influx of players, the same way the Fall of Orioth update did as well. The game's average concurrent player base was sitting around 17,000 average on Steam, but hit a bit over 85,000 concurrently shortly after Incursion went live. I've said it before and I'll say it again, if you never tried Path of Exile, it's well worth playing. It remains one of the most popular free-to-play games on Steam, and it has actually the most fair cash up I've seen. Next, Tera is launching its Heroes Oath update on the PC on June 7th, and it'll come with a new dungeon called Anthrod's Abyss, a new dungeon and Battlegrounds leaderboard system as well. Heroes Oath also adds a new mask to the game called the Infinity Mask, as well as a new gear set called Heroic Oath. No word on when the console version is launching, but given how popular it's been on the PS4, hopefully it won't be too long. But then again, the console version just teased the release of the Gunner class, so it may be a while because they're just launching the Gunner class now on the console version. Moving right along, Kritika Online launched their Dawn of Awakenings update, which, as you probably guessed, introduced awakenings to the game, at least for warriors and monks, which can awaken upon reaching level 70 and after completing the Win Home storyline. The update also adds 4 new danger zones, new dusk gear, and the new Dusk Pirates Den challenge. The game averages about 300 or so players on Steam at any given time, so it's not super popular compared to Soulworker, but keep in mind that that's the Steam version only, and it wasn't available on Steam on launch, so plenty of people probably play off Steam. Next up, a small bit of news for Guild Wars 2. The next episode of Living World, episode 3, will be slightly delayed according to a forum post by an Arena employee. And the reasoning behind the delay is that they want to up the quality of the update before pushing it live, and they'll be doing this for future Living World updates as well, so it might take a little bit longer for future episodes to come out, but it'll be hopefully better in quality. Next up, Perfect World Entertainment announced that starting June 7th, Champions Online will end its monthly subscriptions. Players will be able to purchase new premium packs instead that'll provide character slots, costume slots, travel powers, and other goodies instead. It'll be available on the game store on June 7th for 1,500 Zen. Players with subscriptions who don't cancel can continue receiving existing benefits, but new players won't be able to sign up, or if you let your subscription lapse, you won't be able to get it again. Lifetime subscriptions are currently unaffected by this as well, and they're actually on sale now for $200 until June 7th as well. It's weird to see them getting rid of subscriptions though, but I guess they think they can make more money without the optional subscription by pushing players into the cash shop. But the good thing is if you subscribe to the game today, you don't have to cancel. It's only if you do cancel you can't resubscribe. Next, a small update to Dauntless' ongoing open beta. According to a Twitter post by Phoenix Labs, more than 1.1 million players have joined since the game launched in the open beta, and the game currently has record active users online. The game's enormous queues have also finally died down thanks to increased server capacity and other tweaks made by Phoenix Labs. I remember at one point I had a queue of over 60,000, which took over 2 hours to get into the game. It's good to see Dauntless doing so well, though it isn't too surprising because there's really no competition to Dauntless, especially on the PC side until Monster Hunter World comes out, and there's still no release date for that just yet. Plus, even when that does come out, it'll be buy to play versus Dauntless' free to play model. Right along, a small update for Rend, the upcoming faction-based survival game from Frostkeep Studios. The game started alpha testing this weekend, and they promised to launch into early access by the end of 2018. And like other studios, Frostkeep Studios promised that Rend's early access would be more of a quote-unquote complete game, meaning that if they never updated it after early access, it would still be considered a finished game, but they obviously plan to add more updates and other goodies once it actually launches as well. Given how much Rust I've played recently, I'm definitely interested in trying this one once it comes out. It's supposed to be like Rust or Ark, but with more faction-oriented gameplay, so I guess bigger bases and bigger groups of people working together. Next up, Nexon announced this week that MapleStory M will be launching globally in English later this year. MapleStory M is already soft launched and is available in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the Philippines, as well as Indonesia. So given that it's already out in these major regions, I expect they'll be fully launching in a few months or so. Unlike previous mobile MapleStory games as well, MapleStory M looks and feels a lot more like the PC version of the game, but like other mobile games, it does have that pesky autoplay feature. I'm personally way more excited for MapleStory 2 after playing the closed beta. Unfortunately, there's no news on that just yet, so we'll have to wait a bit longer for that. I do suspect it'll still be launching into open beta sometime around June or July, but again, that's just my guess. The next and last bit of news is also mobile related. Perfect World Entertainment is heading to E3 2018 in Los Angeles on June 12th to show off their mobile sandbox MMORPG called ReEvolve, which is set in a post-apocalyptic world. The game promises some interesting sandbox elements, namely base building features like you'd expect in something like Rust or Ark. On top of that, the game will have various ecosystems, realistic animal behavior, night and day cycles, animal migration, and tons of other small attention to detail elements. How exactly the multiplayer/MMO elements will work though is an open question mark at the moment, but we'll learn more at E3. And besides ReEvolve, Perfect World will be showing off another mobile game as well. They'll be showing off Far Side. It's their very own Battle Royale game, and we'll learn more about that one soon as well. Anyway, guys, that's it for MMO News this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. We got a lot of blessed stuff to talk about tomorrow, so it should be pretty spicy. Anyway, later, guys.